All right. Hello, everyone. I believe we are streaming live to the entire universe on our YouTube channel, which has at least 4 subscribers. So I know we're really getting out there tonight. Hello, welcome to the virtual Cobalt Cafe poetry reading. It's week number 266 of our series. Glad to have you with us tonight. In addition to our open reading, our featured readers are couple in love, Katie Dozier and Timothy Green. Katie, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, and I may pronounce it a number of other ways before you read, so please be prepared for that as we move forward with this evening. We're going to do a little bit of our open reading first, and then we will get to Katie and Timothy, who have a new book out that they wrote together, and that is awesome. If you would like to participate in tonight's reading and you haven't already done so, send me a message in the chat and I will be happy to add you to the list. As always, 2 poems maximum and less is more is the suggested time limit. Also, as always, we have a 1 drink minimum here at the Cobalt Cafe, something grandfathered in from when we were a place that you had to go to and support. So I don't know how to get out of it. We just have to still have that. So 1 drink minimum, a beverage of any kind, it's a requirement. And finally, make sure you have the chat room open. It's where you can interact with each other since we have everyone muted throughout the festivities in an abundance of caution to prevent Zoom bombers from coming in and saying things that we don't want them to say, or at least people seeing those things. So there you go. I think that's everything I need to tell you. Before we get to the first part of our open reading, I would like to ask if there are any questions. Cathabella, yes.
Rick, do you have a favorite watermelon story?
Yes. I don't know if you know this, but watermelon is actually my favorite food. Did you know that? Have I mentioned that before? Um, that feels important for people to know, for those of you keeping track of Rick Lupert trivia. But once I worked at a day camp in the Silver Lake area, and my friend Jenny and I went to the market to buy some supplies for a cookout that we were having. And we grabbed a watermelon from the place where the watermelons are. I guess that would be the produce area. And another watermelon, sort of like in slow motion, started to roll off the other piles of watermelons, and it was sort of slow, but it also happened so quickly that we were just couldn't do anything about it, and it just rolled off of the bin and onto the floor and exploded in the way that only a watermelon can. And we just looked at each other, and then a staff member came along, and all we could say was to point at the watermelon on the floor and go, "There's watermelon," and then we walked away. So that's pretty much my watermelon story.
Thank you, Rick.
Sure, no problem. Martin, yes, what's your question?
Good evening, Rick. I was just wondering if you've ever had an experience where you enjoyed walking in the dark.
Um, Good question. I think there's been some sort of haunted house type situations, which were kind of fun. I recall going to one of these restaurants where you dine in the dark, and it helps sort of accentuate you have kind of a whole different experience because you're not using your sight, and you have to be told what to do and what to touch and that kind of thing. And that was kind of fun.
Fascinating. Cool.
I
Thank you.
wasn't walking though. They encouraged you not to walk.
Oh, well, you had to walk in there at some point, I assume.
Right, but they guided you to your seat and then you sat down and didn't move
So
until,
that counts, I think. So
I guess so. Okay, well there you go. Okay. Well, very good. Any other questions before we get going? All right, lovely. Well, we're going to start with our open reading, five open readers, and then our featured readers. Linda V.E. Crawford, you are on deck. Please welcome our first reader, Bill Gaines. Hello, Bill.
Hello. It's my pleasure to ease us into the reading. I've just got two short and lovely ones. The first one is called Late Night Petrichor. Excuse me. Dig in and chill out. Don't mind if I do. The weekend brought the rain, but I brought the snacks. Together we make this part of the world. Such a beautiful inhalation when late night petrichor closes my eyes for me, and the silence of a clear sky blankets my ears, and all the way down in my toes, tiny lightnings buzz with love. That's end piece of number one. The next one is called Everything is Magic. You chuckle at the impermanence of intellectual property as I light your hair on fire. We both break an elbow in our stupid private square dance. Together we assemble a coffee table. Together we assemble. Stimulus, response, everything is magic. I give you a wizard, you give us a light, and the roles we play remain unwritten. And peace.
Well done, Bill. Thank you so much for easing us in to the reading with your pleasantly lengthed poetry, if I may say so.
Less is
Appreciate you.
more.
Yeah, appreciate you opening up the show for us. Round of applause for Bill Gaines. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, everybody.
On deck, Denise Dumars. Please welcome Linda V.E. Crawford. Hello, Linda.
Hello, great to be here. I was going to be bold and read my rejected Rattle Poetry Prize poem, but I decided instead that with the Emily Dickinson Tell It Slant Festival that's occurring this week, I would pull up a poem from 2023 that makes a reference to her. Yes, great grandfather, I've turned Emily over, crept inside her. It is her fault I hear the flies buzz, smell one crawl along my bony toe, suck my left armpit of enemy lymphatic nodes. I see its cousin flit along my shoulder blade, futile in search of dead and drained old blood. The first fly says, bend your elbow further back, dare to scratch that embedded itching sound. My arm contorts and I dream of nails and boarded louvers, of schools where children hide from historic island wind and storms that split our memory time. Then I remember I am not dead. I am the girl who watched in black and white, saw Tarzan swing, dear Jane. I pleased my mother with my words of want. I want to be the native ones whose firm dark feet rub Mother Earth. I want my hair to be as short and tight as seed peppered black. I am ready to slash Jane and her man. They are in my way. I hear the other fly belch, the one still fat with blood of the small boy who died of leukemia in my tropical island home. I ask that fly, why can I see this boy's face and no longer know his name? It does not answer. I turn on my side and seek my grandfather's father, whose face I cannot see. Great grandfather says, my child, what is lost in ocean brine will never feed new flies. Find the flies your forefathers ate. Poem. Thank you.
Wow, Linda, that was amazing. Family history, a very powerful piece to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you very much.
Round of applause for Linda V.E. Crawford. Well done, Linda. On deck, the collab, Cathabella, Siggy, Jackie, and Chris. Please welcome now Denise Dumars. Hello, Denise.
Hey, well, I'll just do one tonight. It's a little bit long. I don't think I've done this one before. I was planning to be here last week and somehow things got all bollocksed up. So I think this is new to you guys. It's called Purdy's Protection Potion. Step right up, everyone. Step right up. For one thin dime, 1/10 of a dollar, a sample size of silver security can be yours. Purdy's Protection Potion is known on several continents, a couple of exoplanets and comets. Yes, young lady, what does it protect us from? Why, anything you need. Speeding cars, both landlocked and airborne. Carcinogenic compounds, plenty of those around here. Horny politicians, empty promises from that young man you thought you wanted to marry? Oh, no, excuse me. I forgot to welcome our esteemed guests. Yes, ladies and germs, gentle persons, augmented animalcules, friendly fungi, honored off-worlders, welcome, one and all. Purdy's Protection Potion serves for each and every one of you, regardless of cellular function or national origin, because you all know you need protection in these troubled times. A whole liter bottle costs just 10 euros. That's 17 pounds sterling or 108 greenback dollars. Cheap at half the price. No, we don't take crypto, sorry. Yes, the blue furred being in the back? You had your paw up. Is it organic, you ask? I don't know, are you? Just messing with you. Of course it's organic. It's as organic as the day is long. Safe at twice the speed. Pure as Peychaud's bitters in your Sazerac. Here, have another drink. Drinks are on me. Purdy's Protection Potion comes in 5 fabulous flavors. Sweet gum, sorghum, sandhill crane, Saturnian sand, and my favorite, solar whispers. Now come on down, you still got $1. That pickpocket in the back didn't take it all. And just as sure as I'm here on Dauphine Street, it'll protect you from what they call French Quarter tea. You know what I mean. Purdy's Protection Potion is all you need. Get yours now before they raise the iron walls around the city, trapping me in here with you all night long, until Chanticleer comes out to crow. And don't you know, you'll get free Purdy's Protection Potion if you're the one to take me home tonight. Thank you.
Well, now I'm really curious what French Quarter tea is, Denise.
It's something you don't want to step in. It's that slurry that's on the ground, and they tell you not to wear sandals. So
Very good. I remember being in New Orleans and not coming across that, but I was so enchanted by the place and the music that maybe I just didn't even realize it.
probably.
Thank you for that fun piece. I can't wait till the next episode. Hate to have to wait every week for a new episode to come along. Thank you, Denise. Round of applause for Denise Dumars. 2 more, and then our featured readers, Katie Dozier and Timothy Green. Jeffrey Bryant, you are on deck. Please welcome the collab, Cathabella Wilson, Siggy Saradun, Jackie Chow, and Chris from tomorrow.
Hello, Rick. Thank you. Oh, it says sharing not turned on.
Oh, let me turn that on for you.
Okay. Important.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Here we go. Let's see. All right, so the way this works is we work together yesterday and we decide on some themes, and the themes come from the poets who are writing, and they're spontaneous, and then we all dig into our own personal experience and write from that So it's an amazing, magical thing for us. So this one we chose thanks to Rick saying last week that watermelon was his favorite food. Watermelon and rattle for obvious reasons, and amphibians that came just by chance. So how can you put those things together? Rattle my cage, seeds spitting good. Jackie.
Knocking over the Merlot in the throes of laughter, or rattling romance.
Literary journals piled on every shelf in our guest room. Our little grandson comes out shaking his rattle. Chris.
Watermelon seed spitting contest among cousins. Quietly competitive. I was always the champion.
And Chris is coming to us from Japan with her seed spitting. Siggy.
Juicy fruit or blackjack gum. Ew. Rattle in my cage then. Give me double bubble.
I love rattle my cage. One of my favorite phrases now.
Everything rattles when I pass by. Is the word klutz still used these days?
I never thought of you that way, but we can believe. Chris.
One thing that survived our marriage, your rattling gift of rattlesnake earrings. Sometimes whisper.
Yeah, you can tell these are real things. So this one too comes from my childhood. She hears them. The crocodiles are calling in our backyard. My Nana in the night, who lived on the Nile. Prince of sliced watermelon on my dress. Jackie, you read that one.
Prince of sliced watermelon on my dress.
My favorite food, he says. You look delicious.
Back in the day when everything matched, shade of lipstick too. My favorite color red, called watermelon.
Watermelon drips down my chin at first bite. I forfeit my chances of winning the pageant.
Big smiles over smile-shaped slices. In the old photo, my seed-spitting childhood of wearing pink and green.
From the stage, smashing watermelons, audience fun. Wearing a raincoat, waiting for the hammer to strike.
A fallen watermelon bursts. My artist sister paints our shattered dreams.
A stormy wind makes weird noises in the middle of the night. My nerves are fractured. Rattles old house windows.
The rattle of garage doors at midnight. How a poem becomes horror.
What an ending. Very good, Jackie. That's our poem, and here's Rick.
I was playing a flute that was sold as a California flute. I don't have any. It's Native American and relatively recent, played by the Kumeyaay Indians who are in San Diego and higher and lower. So that's why the maker called it a California flute.
Thank you, Rick. There you are.
It It's
Is
about
that
time
how
we got a
loud?
flute here in California. We've been waiting for one. We've got a national flower. We've got all kinds of things, but or not a national flower, the state flower, etc. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Cathabella. Thank you, Siggy, Jackie, and Chris. I think my favorite line tonight was our little grandson comes out shaking his rattle. I took that
You
as
took
if
it.
It's true.
that's
It's
how he
the
was
time stamp.
born. Like
Time stamp in the other
he
room.
came out shaking the rattle like out of the womb. You know what I mean? That's how that landed on me.
It's all true.
Thank
It's
you guys
all
very much for being here. Round of applause for the collab, everyone. There you go. Sticking with the theme, creating a theme perhaps. On deck are our featured readers, Katie and Timothy. Please welcome now Jeffrey Bryant. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hi, everybody. Good to be here. I'm going to read two short, untitled new ones. I fell like Lana Turner, but no one wrote a poem about that. I spilled coffee. It's instant, relax. It's all part of God's plan. Boy, am I glad the LA County Museum of Art has a new building it didn't need. Let's go. Do you remember that day when it hit you that everything from here on out bleeds? Please turn this poem off when you're through with it. Okay? Thanks. Second poem. Don't pull me from this skin yet. I'm falling in love, damn it, and it's far from ideal. Turn the news off and just leave me inside an oratorio to an illustrated man where he's the tenor and I'm the aria in his throat. Milk duds are for sale at the Met. I just want to live long enough to set one on his tongue in our box just before Mimi dies in La Boheme, to swirl in his mouth and slowly turn his tears into milk chocolate. We all have our reasons to live. This is mine. One last chance before I go to take someone's breath away. Thank you.
Jeffrey, thank you very much. Always great to hear your work. Always really solid. Always kind of makes me say, wow, thank you so much for your work tonight. Round of applause for Jeffrey Bryant. On deck after our featured reader is Martin Parker, which leads us now to our featured readers, Katie Dozier and Timothy Green. You probably know something about them already. They both are editors at Rattle Magazine, which we're all familiar with. I've said many times here that very often people who get added to my list of people to invite in our featured reading spot are, in fact, people who I receive in Rattle's daily email, which I read every morning. So it's a really important source of work for me, just as a person who likes to read poetry as well as a producer of this reading. Katie is a former professional poker player, so uh, I'm not sure what to say about that. It sounds serious, and I want to make some kind of joke about bluffing, but I don't think she's bluffing. I think, in fact, she really is a former professional. I wonder why you stopped, Katie. I guess that's an important question to wonder. Katie is also the author of Watering Can and co-author of the book that they both wrote together, Hot Pink Moon, which is a new book. It's a crown of Haibun. It sounds really cool. I know you guys are focusing on, I think you're focusing on that for your reading tonight. So looking forward to delving into that with you. I love this line. You love long conversations about short poems. I bet that's really all that Tim needed to know before he sealed the deal with you. Together, well, Katie's also the creator of the podcast, The Poetry Space, and the haiku editor for One Art, as well as an associate editor of Rattle. Tim has been the editor of Rattle since 2004. He's got his own book out called American Fractal. Um, and probably my favorite thing I've ever seen in a bio is where you say you like to do things together. Obviously, so much so that you got married earlier this year. That's got to be the most important thing that anyone has ever said in poetry, that you love each other and you're here moving forward with words, with poems, not just for yourselves, but with all the work that you do for other people. I'm so grateful to have you both here tonight. Please welcome our featured readers, Katie Dozier and Timothy Green.
Yeah, well, thanks so much, Rick. It's just a pleasure to be here. I love the old Cobalt reading series back when, I could go living in the Valley. And it's so cool that it's still going on over Zoom after all these years. Yeah, so, and really appreciate that. And love the Tonka sequence too from Cathbell and the others. That was great. Really fun.
Really fun. I do feel bad though that we don't have a watermelon poem. Like I feel like that is something that I need to write after this time together for sure.
I smell a watermelon poem.
I know we need a watermelon. I was saying this is the time of year, at least here in Texas, where it's rare you can buy a watermelon and a pumpkin in one trip. It's that time of year here in Texas.
It's that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be sharing poems from our book Hot Pink Moon, which is a book we wrote together over the course of National Poetry Month a year and a half ago. We actually wrote a second book too, which is going to be coming out in just a few weeks. But this is a crown of Hyben. Do you want to explain what that means, Katie?
Oh, well, you're throwing it to me right now, throwing it over here. So a crown of, are you going to share the screen?
Yeah, we will.
Okay, because eventually it's kind of easier to conceptualize, I feel like, once we see exactly how it looks. But the way it works is, so if you know the basic format of a Hyben, so it consists of a title and then the body section and then a haiku. Now, there are a lot of different ways to do it, but that's the basic rundown of what a Hyben looks like. And so what we did is we took the haiku, and then the next day that someone wrote the Hyben, they had to use the words from the haiku in the body of their poem. And so then they linked together, and then at the ends, you finish off the crown by...
Yeah, so the last haiku in the book it only had available to it the words from the opening section of the first Hyben in the book to make it a crown going all the way around in an infinite, Mobius strip through that. So we had 30 days, we just went back and forth writing poems. And it was so much fun that we did it again this year.
Yeah.
So that book's coming out too pretty soon. And so do you want to start out? Let's share. I'm going to share my screen so everybody can see what we were doing. And we love the Hyben form because it's so... It shows so well how to move through a poem.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
like the bones of great poetry and the movement of great poetry laid bare. And that's the fun part of it, I'd say, why we fell in love with that.
Right. And what I love so much about Hyben too is this difference between the body of the poem and then the haiku, which is like a real leap. Like you really feel like you just vault forward and do some crazy gymnastics at the end, or at least when it's successful. Hopefully you feel like that. Otherwise you fall on your face, I suppose. But that's what really makes it fun for me.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll share screen here so you can read along. Let me see. We want this screen. And yeah, so this is the first actual Hyben we'll read, but so you can see how it works. We'll start with the day before. This was day 15, so technically April 15th. That was Katie's day. My day before, day 14, was this one. The poem was called Talent Show, but I'll just share the haiku at the end. It was punk rock, the tail rattle of a gopher snake. So it has that cut in it, the typical haiku form. And of course, rattle fits in with the Tonka sequence.
Yes, we did. If only we had watermelon.
But, so Katie had to use these words: punk rock, the tail rattle of a gopher snake. Hopefully, we both, I think, tried to use the words in a different way, if at all possible, throughout the sequence. That's like the fun part.
It is true, though. Sometimes we were trying to challenge each other for sure. This is a more challenging, I think, one to go ahead and approach. And what's fun with doing Hyben this way, back and forth every day, is that, Hyben has its roots as being a travel log. And I can look back and I remember, oh, that day, that was when we we went to your daughter's talent show in California. And there's no way otherwise I would remember, on April 14th, a year and a half ago, that's where we were. So it's fun.
It really did. It
Yeah.
made me want to do it the whole year.
I want to
And
do it. We're like just talking ourselves into doing it again right now, but moving on.
But anyway, so Katie had those words to work with, and here is the Hyben she came up with.
To go. I was never much of a gopher, too punk rock to walk straight. Instead, I snaked between the lines, just like the time I was sent to fetch coffee for the office. 6 lattes, or was it 7? Non-fat? Was one of them tea with lemon? Behind me, that awkward tale of tapping toes. One man posed with his keys aloft to rattle right at me. Even despite the cardboard caddy, I spilled them all, hot. Only then I noticed they'd misspelled and written caddy. Steam train whispers in your ear.
Yeah, so it's to go. And then I have these words: steam train whispers in your ear.
A little easier than the gopher you threw me.
Easier. Yeah, I gave you gopher. I gave you rattle.
Well, rattle's always fun.
Yeah, all right. So then mine was this the next day. And I think what happened, if we remember right, so the talent show is the 14th.
Uh-huh.
And we were splitting between 2 states at the time.
Yeah.
So this whole book, the Hot Pink Moon one, we were together and apart for the whole month, which is how sort of we were living for a long time until recently. And so Katie was with us at the talent show and witnessed this story, and then flew back this day.
Yeah.
And then I was all alone, bored and sort of lonely for tracks, and so I had to use all these words: steam train whispers in your ear. And this was the haiku or Hyben I came up with: tracks. Steam whispers from the electric kettle. The last of the snow melts from the cherry blossoms. In a branch, a dark-eyed junco calls and calls to your ear the whole of its 3-note album, training you not to listen. The hours, a line of boxcars, empty or full. And so and it's interesting to look back and sort of remember the emotion where you were of the day too, the diaristic aspect of that.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And I will say, when I saw your haiku, this is one of those that I instantly knew where I wanted to take Boxcar. Boxcar has a very specific meaning for me. A series of books I loved reading when I was little. Roots. I marched out to the forest, followed by a line of Boxcar children books, having packed a pail full of hours. I ate an orange and then pulled wild onions from the earth, a mix of Georgia clay, sand, and dirt. How, even raw, the skinny ones smelled like soup, all the while reading, racing the empty sky, foraging for the bottom of the pile, where I found frost alive. Every word pages every word.
Yeah, so that a great monoku there, and this was too. I didn't know the story at all about how much you loved Boxcar Children and the whole thing here.
If my dad is still here, which I bet he is, he remembers I love Boxcar Children. He probably remembers the smell of those wild onions in our yard in Georgia too.
Yeah, and then so this sort of it went in Ars Poetica directions a few times as the sequence went on, and having word pages. I had to go that direction too. So mine went with the flow. And this is day 18, around April 18th of that month.
I think too, this might have been around the time that we had Bob Hickok on the Poetry Space and talked about the flow state with him, maybe.
Yeah, that probably was. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so that's the flow. Every word is water carving a canyon into the bedrock of the blank page. Every sound is snowmelt tumbling down the steep slopes of the headwater streams, over limestone and lithograph, over granite and quartz and schist, over the falls and the walls of the gorges, gaining speed as they gather stones into chisels, rocks into drills, whirling into potholes and plunge pools, pulling up soil and sediment, uprooting trees, eroding the banks, overwhelming the estuaries with a churning foam of debris, each word indistinguishable in the froth of the loam, pages and pages pouring out from a singular mouth into the vast indifference of the sea. Brainstorm without an umbrella.
Wow, the sounds in that one. I'm glad we're rereading this. I'm enjoying it as well.
Yeah, well, it's one of the fun things about having to do a Hyben every day or just writing anything every day is you end up, I looked up a bunch of the language of erosion. It was fun to Wikipedia my way through that poem.
Yeah, you didn't go in knowing all that. I guess, for sure.
Okay. Let's see. Let's do two more. Do you want to skip to like the last two maybe?
Sure. Yeah, that's
All
a
right.
good idea.
Yeah. So it's 30 days, 30 Hyben.
Mhm.
And these are the last two. One of the things about Hyben, so often they have that, the standard form is the prose section and then a haiku. A lot of times it's a typical haiku, traditional type haiku. But you can also have verse and lineate your poem and then add the haiku at the end, which Katie likes to do.
Verse bun.
The old verse
We're
bun.
branding
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You scroll down so I can see the whole poem. I don't like it when it moves. When
Okay.
I read, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Does it all fit?
Oh, does it?
I can shrink it.
I think it. Okay. Thank
Dear-
you.
okay.
That's better. Sorry. The
Okay.
movement jars me when I read online. Okay. After the credits. Sometimes I pause to see this film between us, squint to imagine these miles as a perforated roll, unwinding on a continuous scroll. We are an ever unfurling vine. We left the negatives behind. We curl across the country, covering the earth with seeds. I was silent when I first saw you, confused a life with TV static, blank subtitles. But in your basket, you brought me a picnic of words. Where there once was only space, now watch these wildflowers stir, laying the plot lines with you.
So a nice love poem there.
Yeah, it obviously was going to end up being a love poem with it being the last one in this book together. And it is funny too with, this other book that we wrote in April, we wrote it just after we got married, which is also interesting to be able, I'm excited to be able to look back at that too. So I'm such a big fan of writing as frequently as humanly possible in your life, because I just think it makes us better and better. And then we have, stronger memories of the moment too. So there's a lot to be gained.
Yeah, definitely. And so I went in a similar direction, but also trying to tie it into the sort of Ars Poetica stuff about the project itself at the same time.
And then
So
having to use a specific word bank.
Yeah, the word bank. So if we scroll all the way back up, you'll see Katie's poem first. We have, these are the words I could choose from.
Yeah, I'm really glad that that's
But
challenge.
fortunately, you didn't do like a really tiny.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there's good meaty.
I had a lot to write about with the new washer and dryer to start off the book for some reason.
And that, by the way, this is the cover of the book. If you have the hot pink moon and the all-in-one washer and dryer gets the center stage there. But here's
which Tim designed, because he's great at book covers.
Thanks. So this is Theories of Lift, the last poem of the book. Theories of Lift. You plot a poem, laying the little ramp of the first few lines so it faces head-on whatever wind can be seen in the weather vane. Then pedal, pumping over the rib cage of wooden planks with that ripcord rhythm as your wake. When you reach the air, it doesn't matter if the story is one of mass and momentum. It doesn't matter what Bernoulli said about fluid pressure or the altered vibration of n-dimensional strings. In the end, it's just easy to fly, and they are such colorful things. You and I pinned together, the kite flips. So that is some of the poems from Hot Pink Moon.
Also a love poem, have to say.
So yeah, and there's the cover there once again. And it was a really fun book to put together, and we're doing it. We'll probably do it every year because it is really fun.
So.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for listening. We should also say we have if you enjoy Hive and want to learn more about the forum, I know like Bella for sure knows about the Hive Forum, but if you'd like to know more about the forum, we're teaching a class at the Fine Arts Work Center online. It's FAWC.org on October
11th and 12th. It's a 2-day event, 3 hours a day. It's going to be really fun and intensive. We did a Hyben workshop here in Houston at Imprint, and it was just absolutely amazing to get to write with these poets and see them coming in, not totally sure what a haiku was, and leave with great Hyben. It was really one of the funnest things we've done lately. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. So, well, thank you everybody for listening to us.
Yeah, thanks.
That was a hoot. Quickly, Katie, how do you pronounce your last name for my own fun?
It's the most unglamorous way. It's just Dozier. I'm sorry. You can call me Dozier if you prefer, Rick. It's funner. I was looking forward to you pronouncing it in really, really ridiculous ways. So I think you should continue on that trend.
I'm gonna work on it. We're gonna have a whole event where just that happens. And Tim, just to be clear, it's green.
It's Ren. Everyone's been saying it wrong for many years.
Well, we've all learned some things today. Normally we don't do this, but if you write a watermelon poem by the end of the reading and there's like 7 or so open readers, we'll bring you back to read it. So that's the challenge that we're going to throw out to you guys right now, since you brought it up at the beginning. That was wonderful. I love the way that you two talk to each other, which you period, as well as how you talk to each other in these poems, the way one poem is responding to another. To me, the whole idea that art responds to other art is always very endearing and interesting to me. On top of which, the Haibun clearly is a form in which two different types of poems are talking to each other. So there's a whole lot of communication going on in here in your work, which is really cool. So thank you very much for that. Really great to see you guys do this. Exciting to know that you've got another one coming out soon. I'm looking forward to seeing what that's about. I'm going to paste some stuff in the chat. There it is, and I'm going to share the screen and show the broadside I made for you too. There it is. I believe you guys read these pieces. So there you go. Anyone can download this now at the Cobalt Poets website, poetrysuperhighway.com/Cobalt. This is how we compensate our featured poets. We make one of these. You can have it, you can download it, you can print it, you can make it your cell phone wallpaper if you want, whatever you would like. And I hope you'll consider tipping our poets for their work. Tim sent me a PayPal and a Venmo ID, so whatever your pleasure is, that's pasted into the chat. It's the same thing if you've ever been to an in-person reading and the hat goes around after the featured reader and you put some money in the hat. Well, this is how we do the hat here in this virtual space. You can check out their book there's an Amazon link there. Buying a poet's book or a pair of poets' book is a great way to let them know that you dig them and support them. So there's a link to that there. And then as a bonus, there's some other links as well to Rattle and One Art Poetry and Tim's own website. Katie, I couldn't find do you have your own website?
I do. It's just khdpoet.com.
khdpoet.com?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Well, go there as well, everyone. And thank you guys very much for being here today, for your work tonight, and for all the work that you do for other poets and the lovely rejection letters that you sent.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having us here, Rick. I do love your community. All the people here are just great. So many familiar faces. Cool to see y'all. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Round of applause for our featured readers, Katie and Tim. Tim Gren and Katie Dozier, I believe is the correct way to pronounce those. I will quickly mention that next week our featured reader is Kim Dower, another really well-regarded LA poet, will be with us next week. Kim is really just a combination of Katie and Tim when you think about it. So that's we're just it's like it's like a Haibun. It's one thing speaks to the next. That's why we have Kim next week. I'm sure that's why we're doing that. All right, moving on with the rest of tonight's open reading. Here's who I have on the list in this order: Martin Parker, Sean Mahoney, Scott Norman Rosenthal, Michael G. Hickey, Jennifer Elise Wang, Heidi Casa Digwayne, and me. If anyone else would like to be added to the list, don't hesitate to send me a message and I'll be happy to add you. As a reminder, 2 poems maximum, less is more is the time limit, suggested time limit. On deck is Sean Mahoney. Please welcome now Martin Parker. Hello, Martin.
Hello again, Rick. I have a couple poems here this week. This first one is was recently published. I think I may have read it here a while back, but it was recently published in Mayari Literature, so I thought I'd read it again. This is called Ascending. I've always liked to walk in the dark, turn out the lights and climb the stairs, back up from the shadowy basement space, where I've been building worlds with my mind. While others sleep and the air is clear, well into the depths of the nurturing night. I need not fear the light of day will pierce my eyes and cause me pain. As in the dark I deftly ascend with patient steps to the womb of my room, where I can hide from the rising sun and this world's expectations of me. And this is a very recent one from last week called Mountaintop. From here my eyes behold a view of valleys, forests, and streams that flow beneath a carpet of leaves, which hide my hopes and dreams. This canopy, once a vibrant green, now shifts to golden brown. Before it soon will wither and fade, and settle on the ground, to leave these delicate branches bare, and let the dreams shine through, ascending into rarefied air, so I can share them with you. Thank you very much. I'll put my usual links in the chats, and you can see my newly released Asian elephant to go with my African elephant from a couple years ago. Thank you very much.
That's great, Martin. Without any context, it might be like you're releasing wild animals out there.
Well, that's what I like to think of as doing. So.
Fantastic.
Telegrams.
We have a new bunny in our backyard. I'm trying to convince that I'm its friend. It's not on board yet, but I'm going to look for the elephants to show up and see what we can do there. Martin, thank you so much. Round of applause for Martin Parker.
Thank you.
On deck, Scott Norman Rosenthal. Please welcome now Sean Mahoney. Hello, Sean.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everyone. Tim and Katie, enjoyed that very much, especially the flow. I've been working in geophysics for the past 25 years almost, so that was hit me in the heart in a good way. Rick, Tom Waits or Lloyd Cole? It's not a preference, it's just you have to pick one.
I'm not familiar with Lloyd Cole, so I'm going to go with Tom Waits because that feels like a sure thing for me.
Wow. Okay. This is called, so a couple weeks ago when I was here last, I read a poem about what had happened in Minneapolis. It wasn't good, it was bad. There were a couple things in it, though, that I thought were worth saving, so you might recognize a line or two in this poem from that. This is called Elegy for VOA, or Voice of America. I think of great art produced during great wars. I busy with tremors and that feel unusual in times of unrest. I gaze at spectacle, amaze at repetitious rhyme, shudder the headlines and shudder at the remaining beauty in a world gone mad. The poet cruising freeways at night. Drizzle licks the windshield as if Tom Waits had a hemorrhoid that spoke with a rasp and survived on Velveeta and tobacco. I believe in the piano and the cello, purple and blue. I am a love lover, open the body and blood hot and bread loaf hot to the tongue like the juice of lovers tossed in salad with figs and bacon. A not mad hatter. I believe in natto for lunch with a side of string theory, a shared bath, shaved ice, bloopers and outtakes, the essay, the Mariana Trench, a sinking bell tower in Philippines rings on Sundays. My arm pulls the cord and a rusted bell tones letting you know water boils. You daydream years, thinking of great art produced during Great War and the bellicose men for whom petty bickering is the highest art. I thrust an inordinate amount of shade up the pie holes of these men, our public servants, and deranged, robe-wearing, touchy-feely dudes, and I feel better for it. Thank you.
Sean, thank you. The image behind you, is the person in the boat aware that Godzilla is behind them, or
Oh, they're very aware.
Okay, so he's trying to get away.
It's from the film Godzilla -1 from like a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's awesome. You don't even have to be a Godzilla fan. It's a good movie.
I'm a Godzilla fan, but I'm not, I have to admit, to not be caught up on all of the Godzillas.
Traitor, blasphemer.
I mean, I have like a Godzilla in my house, you know, that I've had for many years that just is here for me to refer to and enjoy, you know, but there's a
It's
lot of
not a
media out
smart
there.
version of Godzilla. It just kind of wanders around.
It's not a real Godzilla. It's a little statue.
Are you sure it's not real?
I mean,
What happens at night, Rick, when you're not watching?
I'm up pretty late, and there's it's very little Godzilla activity, I guess is what I'm telling you. I won't say none because I'm going to leave some room for the possibility.
I think that's a
Sean, I
wise thing to
enjoyed your
do.
poem, and I'm glad we got to talk about this. This feels important. Thank you so much.
It does. Thank you. That was fun.
Sean, thanks for being here. Round of applause for Sean Mahoney. On deck is Michael G. Hickey. Please welcome now Scott Norman Rosenthal. Hello, Scott.
Hello. Well, we get, well, you said less is more, so let me see. Let me see what, well, I keep, oh, drat, I didn't call up what I wanted to read. I keep editing. So I'll read this older poem. Actually, I do need to call it up because there we go. I have edited this. What apartheid? What genocide? 1. Haifa. She shoulders her book bag. Grandmother's hijab hangs in the closet. On campus, she kisses her lover. 2 young women in shorts, in sunlight. Freedom is not genocide, nor is sunlight. 2. Gaza. The prophets of glory and death have killed the flowers of art and wealth. Homes are husks, memory forbidden. Shops are filled, coffers bursting. Deception starves the people. The world surrounds the billboards of history. 3. Haifa. After classes, they walk, they chatter, free to be each other. Thank you. Next.
Scott, thank you so much for that work tonight. Appreciate you being here. A round of applause for Scott Norman Rosenthal. On deck, Jennifer Elise Wang. Please welcome Michael G. Hickey. Hello, Michael. Michael G. Hickey, are you there? All right. Well, I don't know what happened to Michael. So we're going to continue on. We'll see if we can get him back later. So we'll say Heidi Casa is on deck. And please welcome now Jennifer Elise Wang. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, so I got 2, one kind of long, one very short. This inspired by the talk of Haibun. This is not exactly a Haibun, it's a Haibun plus fan fiction. And I'm about to start up the fan fiction challenge that my friends and I do in October. So this was actually like a bonus one that I wrote. So it's part D&D fanfic story, and then like kind of put a Haibun twist on it. On belonging and speaking rat. Although the wind had died down, Phoenix could still feel the chill bite at his cheeks and lips. Nevertheless, he preferred this to the suffocating feeling of the temple. The oppression went beyond finding themselves amidst evil drow cultists. He supposed sacred spaces had some sort of inherent magic that made the non-devout tread carefully despite their skepticism, an implicit "you do not belong here." Phoenix never put much thought into what belonging meant until recently. He always felt most comfortable hidden in the shadows, and now he is being commended for heroics and leading this group of more than allies and enemies turned temporary allies. At least he hoped the drow would prove to be allies for the rest of this journey. Before his thoughts could wander further, Phoenix suddenly felt a sharp tug on his hair and heard chittering. What the? Whimsy climbed onto his shoulder, holding something yellow and crusty. If a rat could look disgusted, Phoenix was sure that was the emotion with which Whimsy flung that thing towards the ground. Was that? He began. You know what? I don't want to know. Thanks. The rat looked at him with those otherworldly purple eyes that made Phoenix wonder what all the things his parents did she witness. A question for some other time, maybe if Argentum ever learned rat. For that and everything else, he added, you came in clutch. Whimsy cocked her head and let out a series of squeaks as if to tell the sharpshooter, you did good too. Phoenix didn't need to know rat to understand that. And the haiku part is constellation eyes, visions of a hidden past and danger ahead. And my second piece is just a haiku, kind of relevant for what I'm feeling and I'm sure others are feeling today. So the haiku is, a rage, monstrous and feminine, I unbite my tongue.
Well, good for you and your tongue, Jennifer. Thanks for sharing that. Always good to have you here. Thanks so much for being here. Round of applause for Jennifer Elise Wang.
Right, thank you.
All right. On deck is Dig Wayne. Please welcome now Heidi Casa. Hello, Heidi.
Hi, Rick. Hi, everybody. Jennifer, those were great, and I really enjoyed Katie and Tim. I really enjoyed your poems tonight. I have two. The day of the memorial. I didn't expect what I've lost to come back whole. Yet San Francisco returns things to me in new shapes. So I drove to 4 different neighborhoods on the fumes of memory to find an elusive ceramics store. I wandered, got lost, then felt wonder. I happened upon the bar I went to the day I bought the cup, and the Mediterranean place for lunch, now emptied with a sign posted on the window. Its beautiful blue seats, a mirage. Crying in the car to grieve Judith. Retracing my steps up too many streets. The feeling of rightness waning in the zigzag. I wanted that cup, damn it. The one I broke weeks ago, unlike any I'd seen before. Its smooth glaze a cloud hugging soft pale clay. The muted bite of green on the inside, just before the mouth or eye enters. I could practice kintsugi, but in my anger and disappointment, I had let the pieces fall to the floor. Fleeting beauty. I'm pulled to the Asian Art Museum of San Francisco again. You may as well bury me here, is what these illnesses and griefs and deaths seem to be saying, because this place is the end of many journeys. Or is the museum saying, home is a red lacquered box, in low light, deepening black, covered in ornate mountains, birds and flowers painstakingly carved without regard for time and AI? Or is the museum saying love is not one object, but a whole shadowy building of them, with mysterious permanent collections archived elsewhere? Moments of nature resurfacing, creatures and landscapes filling our senses once, flitting in and out of the corners of our widening eyes. And also, I have a poetry collection coming out, so I'm going to put information about that in the chat.
More poetry from Heidi Casa is what the world needs, as far as I'm concerned. What's your book called?
The bullet takes forever.
It's an important one to have out in the world, Heidi. I'm so glad that that's happening, and thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Heidi Casa. On deck, Tara Elliott. Please welcome now Dig Wayne. Hello, Dig.
Hello, Rick. Got two pretty new ones. This one here is kind of new. First of all, I'd like to thank Katie and Tim for their feature. It's very inspiring. Thank you. In theory, I've seen everything, but where did it go? Everything never stops to let you examine it. Everything just keeps on the road, on the path forward. Nothing stops to distract you, puzzle you into believing you make a difference as part of everything. But the substance of nothing is the same as everything. Hold a mirror up to nothing, and everything will have been there and gone. But nothing will stick around for you to get lost in, waste your ticks on. You just imagine it to be something more than the nothingness of everything eventually. Thank you. And this one is brand new. I just wrote it today on an airplane. I just got here. I wrote this on the airplane. It's called Talking to Myself. Troubled doves circle my unconscious. Provocative introductions, unexpected smiles, the blessing of rejection, overturned dusty sat upon boogies. Rhythmic wings toil for syncopation, falling out of favor, slow dancing like lovebirds in hawk. Social virtue in limbo trod upon taboos. Lost downbeat finds a new home. Tell yourself the quiet must be there. The learning spill. Let me set to it. Troubled doves circle my unconscious, talking to myself. Thank you.
Cool, Dig. Thank you. You were in the Northwest. Did I see that right on Facebook?
I was in the great Northwest, yes, in Seattle and up into Washington. I actually was in Acme, the town of Acme.
Right, right. I saw all your photos there. Did you come across the coyote?
I didn't come across a coyote. I was looking for an animal or some roller skates with a back rocket.
Those are sure signs. A lot of people look for scat, but really those are the signs for a coyote.
That's it, that's it. It was really strange. They have another town there in Washington called Concrete, and another one called Glacier. So it's kind of like, what a weird state. I was there for a wedding, so yeah.
They ran out of different names up there, and they just started picking. What are bookshelf? Great, that's one of them.
Walla Walla, yes. Lance says Walla Walla.
That's right. Dig, good to have you back. Not that you weren't here with us last week, but I feel safer with you in town, is what I'm saying.
Well, thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate that.
Thank you for being here. Round of applause for Dig Wayne. Thank you, Dig. On deck is me, and then we're going to have a quick bonus round of a couple of watermelon poems. So that's going to be exciting. Never tried that before. So I'll be on deck. Please welcome now Tara Elliott. Hello, Tara. Tara, are you there?
Here I'm talking and you guys can't hear me. Sorry. It's been a while since I've been on Zoom for fun. I just wanted to give a shout out to Karen Scott for her birthday today. But thanks for having me tonight, Rick. I'm going to read a couple of poems. The first one is my tribute to the Eastern Shore this time of year. It is called Yield. Before the leaves slip into backlit attire, where the last of the melons lie rotting in their fields, October staggers drunk up onto this eastern shore. Overnight the air crisps, husks begin their slow undressing, soybeans flicker as gold slowly conquers green, Clouds play chase, darkness building to pillar, and even though the rain spits down, the sun still wheels through the blue. Pine shats pool into rusty drifts. Cattails stalk the small ponds, their fluff spilling velvet down. We are trapped here in the ever season of the in-between, before autumn arrives breathing hoarfrost, turning all of the roses to leather. And the second poem I'm going to read tonight is not my poem. The second poem I'm going to read tonight is a poem by my mentor, by Lucille Clifton. In light of this week's politics, it really hit me, and I wanted to share it, but I'm scared to share things right now. I don't know if you guys are feeling me, but it is a freaky kind of a feeling. This is called The Times. It is hard to remain human on a day when birds perch weeping in the trees and the squirrel eyes do not look away, but the dog ones do in pity. Another child has killed a child, and I catch myself relieved that they are white, and I might understand, except that I am tired of understanding. If this alphabet could speak its own tongue, it would be all symbol, surely. The cat would hunch across the long table, and that would mean time is catching up, and the spindlefish would run to the ground, and that would mean the end is coming, and the grains of dust would gather themselves together along the streets and spell out, "These two are your children. This too is your child." Thanks, everyone.
Wow, Tara, tell me again who that poem is by.
By Lucille Clifton.
Oh,
It's
of
called
course.
The Times.
Yeah, wow. Thank you for sharing that. That was incredibly powerful. And it's so nice to see you again. It's been a really long time since you've been here. And honestly, while you were reading, I was really afraid that Godzilla was going to come up out of the water behind you.
Well, thanks, Rick. It's been a crazy year for me. My husband's had cancer, and I'm losing my sight, so it's been fun.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about both of those things. A complete and speedy recovery to your husband and to you as well. And you always have a home here, whether or not you can make it or not. Just so you know.
Thanks. I needed to hear your voices tonight, and Katie and Tim, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing.
All right, round of applause for Tara. Elliot, thank you for being here, Tara. I'm going to read a couple of poems. I'm going to start out with the Torah portion poem. This one I wrote for this week's text. The line of text I'm responding to is this: I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. You should choose life in order that you and your offspring will live. And the poem is called Life Seems Like the Obvious Choice. Life seems like the obvious choice, but so many barely elected officials and mouths on the television seem to prefer death. I'd like to live forever, but beside the biological impossibility, the technology that would allow me to eke out a few more days is being nonsensically shut down. I'd like my offspring, there's just the one, but he may make more, and I don't know how much responsibility I can take for that. To thrive, but I'm afraid the lakes and the air will be nothing but fire by the time I no longer have his bank account password. I'd like to declare my attic a sanctuary city because people may need it and people are life. The lesson in all these pages has always been to be good. We can agree to disagree on why, but certainly not on its status as the best idea. I thought life was the obvious choice, but all the policies are now overtly death. This whole thing needs to start over, like this book soon will. Life still has my vote. What else is there? Okay, that's the first poem written after this week's Torah portion. This poem, I had another poem I was going to read from my book, High Moose Alert, which just came out last month. Poems I wrote in Alaska, Vancouver, and the Canadian Yukon last summer. But I did a quick search for the word watermelon in the book and came up with this poem. So we're going to both finish off my reading and launch into the very quick watermelon lightning round with this poem called Imagined Conversation. In my mind, I have a lengthy conversation with our server to explain that if Addie wants tea, she should be able to select from all of the available tea bags since they were all sitting next to each other, and not just the Lipton Black, even though she was confident the other more interesting tea bags were reserved for the grab and go, which is all fed by the same kitchen that supplies the food for our table. Look, a $23 mediocre breakfast buffet is no one's friend when the biscuits are biscuit-shaped bread rolls and the eggs have seen another century and the berries left their sweetness with the Reagan administration and the watermelon has lost its reason to live and the potatoes have been shunned by the rest of the root vegetable civilization. I have to be honest, the coffee was decent. At least there's that. At least my metabolism has the encouragement it needs. I'm on a bus. I'm going away. There you go. A poem that has the word watermelon in it. So if you're fans of that, buy my book. All right. I had important messages from people saying that they have watermelon poems. It looks like we've got three. I've got Bill Gaines, Jeffrey Bryant, and Katie Dozier, all who are going to share a watermelon piece. Some of them written tonight as part of the challenge. Bill, what do you got for us?
All right. Hi. Thanks for the challenge. This is a delight. I have one I wrote. It's called Watermelon Fusion Blast. It goes like this. Crunchy little seeds in a swirling red plasma bonk together. The speed is no longer the issue here. The problem is the stop. And when they stop, you get one moment to tell somebody something true before the radiant shockwave hits, before your skin melts like sugar in lava, before you're both covered in nuclear goop and all of your summertime plans melt away.
It's quite a visual there, Bill. Well done. I've never seen you with the lights off. It's not as revealing as we're used to. Thank you, Bill. Watermelon Poem 1. Jeffrey Bryant, what do you got?
A watermelon haiku. Hippopotami take each watermelon whole. Seeds scream for mercy.
I'm a seed eater when it comes to watermelons. My wife doesn't understand it, but now that I know that they scream, Jeffrey, I don't know that I'm going to be able to keep doing that. Thank you for that. Denise Dumars, what do you got for us?
I have a haiku. Watermelon cats. They can't taste the sweetness. Crunch through water.
Crunchy water. That's the way it has to be. If watermelon is mushy, it becomes my least favorite food. Thank you, Denise. Well done. Jackie Chow, you got something watermelon for us, I hear.
Yes, I'm gonna look for it right now. I won't take a lot of time. Can I share screen because I don't want to be kicked out?
Go for it.
Okay. Okay, let me see. Let's see. A watermelon. Watermelon. Okay, found it. Okay. This is called The Shattering. A watermelon breaks, thrown out of a truck's door like a bowling ball. Now a skull splits open, splattering juice, flesh onto the dark windshield. Is it suicide, homicide? The bang of a head against the hard glass. The squeaky wipers then scrape off its fibrous remains. We move on, not asking if it hurts in those final moments of impact. Thank you. Let me stop share.
Watermelon death is always sad unless it's in a supermarket and it makes you and your friend giggle before the cookout. Jackie, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Jackie. Well done. All right, Katie.
All right, I have a haiku that I wrote during this, and I have to say, I think watermelon poems just more than need to exist. I'm convinced after this. Watermelon, spitting out the first drafts.
Ooh, way to bring it home.
But I suppose that means, Rick, though, you eat your own first drafts from the sound of your seed situation and the watermelon. So
I'm of the Allen Ginsberg school of first spit, best spit.
fair enough. I can't argue with Allen Ginsberg.
All right. Well done. All right. Thank you guys very much. We did it, everyone. A fantastic open reading surprise lightning watermelon round. I want to thank everyone for being here. Really great and fun night that moved quickly too. I'm pasting the stuff in the chat from earlier as well. So you can tip Katie and Tim for their reading via the PayPal or Venmo IDs that are there. You can download the broadside for their poem on the next link to the Cobalt Poets website. When you're there, not only can you see all the broadsides that have ever been published, but you can click on calendar to see who's coming up next. Next week, it's Katie and Tim's love child, Kim Dower, who will be with us next week. Also, click on email list if you're new here, and you can receive emails that go out a couple times a week with the flyer for the upcoming reading and a convenient Zoom link you can keep in your inbox if you would like. There's a link to the Hyben Crown Hot Pink Moon book at Amazon. If it's a better place to buy it, stick that in the chat if you would like. And finally, links to Rattle, One Art Poetry, and Tim's website. I forgot to write down your website, Katie. Put that in the chat as well. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Really fun night. I'm glad everyone is here. Thank you, Katie and Tim. Thanks to all our open readers. I am clicking on the Ask All to Unmute button so you can electronically commingle.
I have a last minute watermelon haiku. Watermelon ice cream seeds, chocolate chips. It's a thing in Japan. Watermelon ice cream bars, and they have the chocolate chips for the seeds.
Nice. I'd rather eat the watermelon, personally.
And there's one in the chat that Cathabella just wrote. So
Yes, I did. I wrote it when you said we should write new ones. From inside the watermelon, I speak in seeds.
And thank you all for the birthday wishes.
Oh, Karen, happy birthday. Let's all sing simultaneously with the Zoom latency and see how that works out. Ready? Here we go. Everyone, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Karen Scott. Happy birthday to you.
That was really rough. Really
Just in
rough.
time for Halloween.
We do love you, even though we can't sing.
It was cute.
Well, I used to be able to, but I don't know. I think I picked up a bit of a chill these last few nights. I don't know. It's a good sign because I like the cold. It means the cold's coming back.
Thank goodness.
Hey, James, you were late to the party. Good to see you.
I am the party, Miss Karen Scott.
That's true.
Oh, I've missed you, James Everett Jones.
Oh, I miss you too, Tara. It's so wonderful to hear you.
You too. You too. How is your LA
Ronnie.
reading series going?
Actually, I've moved it over to the Rap Saloon,
Nice.
and I'm going to start looking for different spots. So I had a bit of I was under the weather for a long time, and it got me in touch with my old peoples. So um, on the good side, I'm going to have a Halloween reading at the Rap Saloon in Santa Monica. Everybody's invited.
You pay for my plane ticket?
Oh no, my sister, you got to get your own.
I don't fly anymore.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I would have loved to have seen you fly.
Well, if I could afford Greyhound and a place to stay, I'd come out.